I, I'm figuring this out. It stopped at 10 seconds for me. I don't know what you all saw. Yeah, so I thought I'd try to do a live. Um, oh no. What is going on here? Sorry, pause one moment, please. Okay, I think I've solved the problem. At least I hope. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about Jehovah's Witness funerals. Oh, and for some reason my phone and StreamYard aren't being friendly today, so I can't put my intro, which I would normally do in my outro. So this has to be kind of low tech, and it is what it is. So the reason that I was coming on is because on March the 29th will mark the 18th anniversary of my dad's passing. So it's been something I've been thinking about the last few days. I see my sister has a temporary, what do you call it? Temporary photo on her Facebook. So it just kind of reminded me, of that sort of thing, of what happened. Yeah, so I was only 30 years old when Dad died. Seems relatively young, You kind of hope that you'll have both your parents with you as long as possible, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. He had cancer, and he got sick around 2000 and passed away in 2004. Sorry, and this is probably not going to be chock full of laughs considering the subject matter. So there you go. Yeah, it was tough. I was there with him when he passed away. Um, I remember when he first got sick, he had to do surgery, and he was always a real heavy set guy. Um, but then he had to have stomach surgery, and he became a thin guy, and that was a little strange. He looked like a whole different person. Um, yeah, when they finally said that he had about 6 weeks to live, unfortunately, it was about 6 weeks. It was pretty accurate. So I went to go visit him um, about that point, and had to go back to where I was living because I was living in Ontario, and um, he was living in Indiana. So I went back for the last 2 weeks before he passed and was with him. And it's hard seeing someone that you care about deteriorate like that. It was very quick in that way. Um, so my dad was not an active Jehovah's Witness. He had stopped going to meetings probably when I was 6 or 7 years old. So he was long gone as far as being faded. Um, so he had his own set of ideas. He wasn't really a religious person. Um, when he was younger, he was raised as a Southern Baptist or as a Baptist. I'm not sure Southern Baptist or Baptist, which one. In any case, he met my mom. She was Catholic at the time, and they married. And my mom was approached by somebody at the door and became one of Jehovah's Witnesses over time. He joined it because he wanted to, basically for my mom. It wasn't really for him. Not a real good reason to join somebody's religion, honestly. But, he lived a good life. He was a good man, and I really appreciate him, and, I miss him. And I was thinking about when his funeral finally came around. So if you have been one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you'll know what I'm talking about. Jehovah's Witnesses funerals are kind of weird. Now, you see funerals portrayed in, movies and TV shows and stuff. I'm assuming that's what funerals are really like, except for the comedic bits, on a comedy or something. But they talk about the life of the person. They talk about, who they survived by. They discuss the things that they liked in life, and, the things that meant something to them. And that's the gist of what it's about. It's a eulogy. Maybe people will come up and talk about, who they were and what they meant to them. That's pretty common in the world, to celebrate the person. That's really what a funeral should be about. But with Jehovah's Witness funerals, they get an outline, whoever's supposed to give the talk. And in that outline, it says to spend no more than 5 minutes talking about the person. And that's wrong. It's, it's the big send out. It's the time that you're going to show everybody that is in attendance what a good person they were, assuming they were a good person. I suppose, there's some funerals for people that aren't good people, but even then, they still try and bring out something positive about a person, right? With Jehovah's Witness funerals, it really is just a big recruiting session. So it's all about the doctrine. And you got to keep in mind with my dad's funeral, and actually I'm trying to get around certain things here, so I'm going to put a picture of my dad using an overlay, because I could do that. So that is my dad. After he had his surgery, you could just tell he was just kind of a kindly man. He was a good guy. He cared about his family. He cared about, people. That's me. I was a little younger then. So that's basically how I look without a beard. I prefer to keep it. But anyway. And this is just me and my parents. This is probably about 2000 when this was taken. So, he was a good guy. I think about the kind of person that he was. Back in my old congregation, there was a sister who had two adult sons, and an adult daughter. So she was kind of like a grandma to us, me and my sisters, in a sense. Her name was Dolores, and we used to call her Lola. So she was kind of a grandma in a sense. And her sons, they grew up on the streets, so they were not really trusting of a lot of people. And they were of Mexican descent, and they were kind of cautious when it came to dealing with white people, with Caucasians, and that they just, they had bad experiences. They weren't treated well, so they were always suspicious. And you know what? I can understand that. And I remember Lola was talking to her sons, and she was talking to them about race relations, I guess. And she mentioned my dad, and they're like, "Oh, Jim, yeah, he's okay, he's good." So some people that didn't trust a certain racial group, they're just like, you know what, he's all right because he treated you nice. He cared about people, and he did his, he was a good guy. So those are the kind of things that I would have liked to have seen brought out in my dad's funeral. The type of person that he loved to ride motorcycles, and he was a talented artist, and he loved to sing. And those are things I appreciate and even like to do myself. So when it comes to Jehovah's funerals, let me try that again. Jehovah's Witness funerals, it shouldn't be a recruiting session. It should be a celebration of life, because life is precious. And honestly, it was extra weird because he was not active, and the talk really was, this is Jim, and he survived by these people, and that's about it. And let's talk about his hope for the future. But it really turned into, let's talk about his wife's hope for the future, who was an active witness. So why be a footnote at your own funeral? And it's going to become about, hey, this is the hope that their wife had. That's no way to have the funeral. Yeah, like, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this life. When I close my eyes for the last time, I don't know. None of us know. So how about we live life the best that we can with what we know right now? Because if you're recruited into Jehovah's Witnesses and you think, well, this is the best life ever, it isn't necessarily. It might be all that you have. So live it the best way that you can, because we really don't know. And, I remember having a part in a meeting to where I was brought on stage, and I said that I never want to leave because I want to be able to see my dad again in paradise. And I don't hold those values anymore. I don't believe that anymore. I can't say with 100% certainty what's going to happen, but I will remember Dad for the good person that he was, and maybe I'll see him again. I don't know, but I'll remember that he was a good father and a good man. So I guess this was sort of my eulogy to my father that he didn't get 18 years ago. And I guess, they say if you can hear you from heaven, so if Dad can hear me wherever he is, I miss you, I love you, and I'll try and make you proud. So that is all that I really had time for today. This was a short one. I'm just sort of taking a break in between jobs. So I appreciate you. Apparently I had something come on the screen. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to do more of these in the future, a little longer. Probably better for my computer at home, because then I can do all the wizardry that goes with overlays and introduction videos and countdowns and stuff. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and live your life the best that you can, because you don't know what you got. Okay, thanks. Bye now.